I'm happy also to be part of a program that is evidence-based, science-based, and that we spend about 10% of our budget every year on evaluation. The state is getting more and more anxious to find out that the programs that they serve are actually promoting things that are doing something and doing valuable things, and we certainly think we are. I want to tell you a couple of facts about the toll of tobacco in New York State, and I want to tell you a little bit about our programs for this year. And since everyone else has been so brief, I figure I've got half an hour now. First of all, the toll of tobacco in New York State, every year in New York State, 25,500 people die from tobacco use. And about 2,800 die from secondhand smoke. One way of saying that is that for every 8 smokers that die, they take a non-smoker with them. The monetary costs are tremendous. A lot of people are not aware of this, but the annual health care costs in New York State caused by smoking that is covered by Medicaid. There are other costs too, but you all know about Medicaid, and you know who pays for Medicaid. Raise your hand if you pay for Medicaid expenses. That'd be all. Okay. In New York State, for the smoking-caused smokers' illnesses, is $5.4 billion every year. Now, we've been hearing in the news that AIG got $85 billion. There's the $700 billion bailout and everything. So you think, well, $5.4 billion, it's not that much really. But let me put that in perspective. There may be some people in the room that make $100,000 a year that most of us don't. You know, but we can at least visualize that $100,000 a year. If you made $100,000 a year, it would take you 54,000 years to get to $5.4 billion. Now, you all know what the size of a credit card is, too. If you took 5.4 billion credit cards and laid them end to end, they'd go all the way around the earth 11 times. So the cost of smoking in New York is a lot, and we're paying for it. So even if you don't smoke, I have a lot of people going to our booths or something like that and say, oh, I don't smoke. Well, if you pay taxes, each household in New York State pays about $904 every year for the smoking costs, the healthcare costs of smokers. So it's something that we're all concerned about. Now, about our program, we are concerned about norm change. And Mary Ann shared a story a while back with me that was a good example of a norm change. She went to buy a car in Batavia and got talking with the salesperson there. And he said that their policy now is that they won't accept for trade-in or purchase for resale any cars where people have smoked in them. And the reason is there's no market for them. People don't want them. So that is a norm change. For those of you that are my age, back when I was growing up, everybody smoked. I mean, about half of the people did, which made it seem like everybody. But fewer and fewer people are smoking now, so that's just a norm change. And that's what we're all about. 3 of our programs, we're doing 16 programs this year, and 11 of them are in concert with Reality Check. We're really happy to be collaborating with them on 70% of our programs. But I just want to mention 3 of them real briefly here. One is we still are offering $100 gift certificates to Home Depot or Value Home Center to landlords or managers of apartments that have a written policy for not smoking in the apartments. And one reason that I changed some of my notes here, I wanted to add, you know, this is with Fire Prevention Week. You're all been hearing about it in the news lately. And fires are the #1 cause of home fire fatality, or excuse me, smoking is the #1 cause of home fire fatalities. #1 in the nation. And so, you know, you may say, well, I don't care if somebody's smoking 3 doors down from me. Well, if they burn down your building, you know, it's a concern for everybody, not just the other people. Plus, there's the issue of secondhand smoke. And I always want to mention the quit line, 866-NY-QUITS. They're still offering and mailing right to smokers' homes free patches and lozenges and gum. And lastly, we have a program where we're trying to get organizations, venues, and events to sign policies that they will not accept tobacco, cash, advertising, sponsorship, and promotion. GCASA was the first that signed in our area. We've got about 40 now that signed total. They have been convicted, the tobacco industry has been convicted of racketeering, fraud, and deceit, and that's why we're encouraging people not to accept that money. And have the form here I brought about 70 of them, and I think, look at the stack, I think I see 70 still there. So if you'll please stop by, pick one of these up. I'm sure all of you belong, you go to church, or you belong to Rotary, or your kids are in a sports club or something. Almost any group can sign this, and we'd be happy to have it. We want to make that the norm changes, the norm that people here do not take funding from the tobacco industry. So lastly, I'd like to invite you to our meeting, which will be Smoke Free Now Coalition meeting, which will be at Wiggly Jiggly's on November 18th. And I think you all get information about this meeting by email, and I'll email you the notice about that meeting, and hope you can join us. Thank you.